You are listening to Amplify Your Success Podcast, episode 131. And if you've been struggling with a lot of clients who are looky-loos or they just don't make the leap to hiring you, you're attracting a lot of people who aren't a good fit, stay tuned. You're going to love today's episode because I'm going to teach you the one thing that's missing that will propel a prospect into buying with you. So let's get started.
Welcome to the Amplify Your Success podcast. Hey, are you a thought leader, creative entrepreneur, or change maker and want to magnify your impact, boost influence while creating a financial abundance? Stay tuned for today's inspiring episode with your host, Melanie Benson.
Hey there, inspired entrepreneurs and business leaders. It's Melanie Benson, your host here, Profit Amplifier to trailblazers, thought leaders, change makers, and experts ready to build a successful business. I gotta say, I'm recording this in real time this time because usually we pre-record a few episodes in advance to get ahead of things, but we just had the mastermind retreat. So it's when all my clients come in and we do a deep dive for 2.5 days into what it's really going to take to up-level results. So I'm still on the high from that, a little bit of recharging, but there were so many amazing things. I'm actually thinking about doing a whole episode on some of the takeaways and big ahas that came out of that retreat, because it was, like I say, it was probably the best one yet. That's what they said. And just watching people have these huge breakthroughs around money, around how to really shine their light brighter and amplify their marketing so that their clients can find them, and really finding the right business model that'll take them where they want to go. It's very exciting. And one of the things that we tackled as we were kicking off the retreat was this idea of how to enroll more of your ideal clients. This is actually one of the new content chunks in the Own Your Bold Inner Circle at ownyourboldcircle.com. So if you're struggling with this, we also have a couple other new lessons that have dropped in on building your signature talk, like an authority talk, which was really powerful. But this particular lesson is something I think a lot of entrepreneurs, online business owners, coaches, healers, transformational guides, I see a lot of people struggling with this. And so thought I would take a little bit of a deep dive on how to really showcase your work properly so you're attracting more of your ideal clients, but also learning to spotlight the right people. And so one of the things I taught in the for the inner circle on sales is this idea that depending on where someone's at in their buying cycle, there's different ways you're going to want to move them into having a consult or having a sale opportunity with you. So I'm going to deep dive that a little bit for you today too, hit some of the high notes, and I'd love to hear from you if this answers a question or helps you with some struggle that you might be having on sales. So you can come over to the Amplify Your Success podcast show page and let me know about it. Or if you're in our Amplify Your Success community, which is our free community, I want to hear about it over there. So let's dig in. In my experience, there are typically 4 types of prospects. And I do a little bit deeper dive on this in an episode earlier on. I will hyperlink it into the show notes on Amplify Your Success Podcast. Just have to search for today's episode 131. What I find, though, is that depending on what someone is looking for and how they're coming to you, it will drastically shift how you prepare them for a great sales conversation. And the conversation you're having can shift a little bit because of the how they've gotten to this. So let me go over the 4 types. First of all, there are the people that already know you. You've been building a relationship with them, and in essence, they're ready to hire you. They probably just have a few questions and they want to figure out some of the nuances. So these are people that have been following your podcast, or maybe are on your email list, or they've seen you speak and they feel this connection and this rapport with you. These are really hot leads. When you have hot leads, you want to move that person into conversation or move them into the sales process, whatever that is for you, right away. because they're ready. And if you put them off too long, they can kind of cool off, right? And so you want to keep those hot leads hot and keep with the momentum. So those are the dream prospects, right? Those are the people we can't wait. And it's really interesting for me when I have somebody who I've connected in with some way, shape, or form, and they're just hot, they're super ready. Literally it's just working out the details. So that's prospect type 1. Now the second type of prospect are those people that need the kind of work you do. And so they're researching, right? They're researching who does this, and they're figuring out fit and price. Now, these are the people that tend to search for someone who does what you do. Now, here's why this is so important. There was a huge conversation at the retreat and also in Your Bold Inner Circle when we did the training on how to enroll more of your ideal clients, because there's like a debate of, do I like position things as being a business coach or being a massage therapist or being a whatever they do, or do you name things so that it's about the result? And here's when I think this matters the most. Is this person already searching for a business coach? And now they just want to see if there's they're looking for someone to do what they know they need done. Or are they struggling with a problem and they're searching for solutions? So they're going to be searching for solution generation names. So how you name things should be both, right? Like, I'm a business coach who does this, or I'm a marketing consultant who specializes in this, right? Because when they know they want a business coach, or they know they need someone to help them with their marketing, or they're looking for an online business manager, or they're looking for an energy healer, they're literally doing searches for that person. And so you need to make sure that your materials talk to that, but you don't want to over rely on it, because the next type of prospect won't be looking for that. And this was a real aha for a lot of the people in the group, because they don't get enough of the clients that are just looking for what they do. Now, if you do something that's unique in the world and not a lot of people are searching for it, you're going to find that you attract a lot of people, or your ideal prospects have the problem that you solve. They really are looking for a solution that's the solutions that you do well. But they don't know you yet. They don't know that you do the work, and they may not even know that there's a cost to keeping the problem that they have. So these type of clients are what we will tend to attract in through lead magnets, through maybe getting your podcast or doing newsletters or doing articles for other portals. And this is where your authority platform comes in, right? So an authority platform is when you are positioning yourself as an expert, as someone who's really good at generating the solution or helping people solve the problem or helping them walk through this process that gets them to this outcome they're looking for. But what is unique about this is these people usually aren't ready to buy, so we need to nurture them. They are what we call, they're in the stage of needing to be educated and rapport built and nurtured. You want to continue to have conversations with them. And then you want to be in front of them when they are ready to invest in the solution. Okay. And sometimes, and this is where this gets really interesting, depending on the kind of work you do, sometimes your job may be in educating them the cost of keeping the problem and how that's greater than the investment they'll make to solve it. This is a huge aha moment for a lot of people. And I have to, I'm not going to give away any names or any details here, but this was some of the biggest breakthroughs at the retreat, was realizing that they had been stepping over dollars and picking up pennies. So what that means is they were so worried about investing money in that next level of success that they were holding back from the very thing that they wanted, but yet the cost of the problem was excruciating. So these aha moments are the same things your prospects have. Is sometimes they need to have more information. You need to lovingly guide them through this process inside of their own mind, so they realize, like, oh my gosh, like, I'm suffering every month with this. And if I invested, $100 or $1,000, or maybe it's $10,000 or $20,000, right? but the solution is 10 times more valuable to them. So that's prospect number 3. And these are the kinds of people that you need to build your nurture sequences for. See, another great aha that many of my clients have had over time is, unless you're right in front of somebody and you're enrolling them in a speaking engagement, or because they've been hot referred to you, meaning someone's just raving about you, and maybe they were using the process that Jill Raff talked about a couple episodes earlier. If you don't have that hot lead, they're going to need some nurturing. They need to get to know you. They need to figure out, do they like you? Like, our buyers are so much more discerning now. Most of them just don't drop money, right? And I don't think you want them if they do that, right? You want them to want this. You want them to be committed to the solution. You want them to be willing to do the work or hire you to do the work, right? Like, you don't want people who are on the fence and pushed into the decision. But you can build rapport with them. Now, one of the things I taught in the Inner Circle training on enrolling your ideal clients is that you oftentimes need to do these things, and you can automate them before a client ever gets to your sales conversation or your sales opportunity. And what that does is it starts to pre-qualify them and create a hunger and a need way before you spend time and hard-earned money on a salesperson or in your own time on that lead. And so you can build things like little content components that you guide them through. And if they go through those steps and they come out the other side and they're like, oh my God, I need this, then you want to be the person that they turn to. So give you an example of this in my world. If you have not yet gone through the Own Your Bold training, I have to tell you, every single person that was in that mastermind went through the Own Your Bold training and said, oh my gosh, I need to work with Melanie. And some of them know me for years. And so that would be an example of a content sequence, a process that someone went through before they ever talked to me. And at the end there, they saw so much value in what I gave them, and it was illuminated what the cost of their problem was and what the opportunity was, that it literally sold them before I ever got on the phone with them. They were ready to enroll. They just wanted to know how much. So I moved them from a level 3 prospect to a level 1 prospect through that sequence. Do you see where I'm going with this? So these are the kinds of things you can be doing. And if you want some help with it, jump into the Own Your Bold Inner Circle. Go through the trainings that have been set up for you. You can always go back and pick up this month's training on the sales process. I got to tell you, it's worth the entire program just to have access to that one sales system. It's so helpful to have a process laid out for you and to really start to understand who your prospects are. So let's back up one more step. Why is having a sales process so helpful? First of all, you'll do a better job at holding space for someone to make the decision. Is it you that's the right person for them? But also, you'll waste less time on people that are never going to buy from you. See, one of the biggest mistakes, and this is prospect number 4, it's actually not really even a prospect. We'll say this is the pool of people number 4, is they don't have the problem, or they don't see the value in solving the problem if they do have it. And they're not your people. So what I'm seeing a lot of, especially newer business owners or people who haven't really gotten comfortable with this side of their business, is they're spending so much time on people that are not their people. And they're trying to convince them to buy or trying to nurture them and educate them. And they're never going to buy. They either are never going to have the money, or they're never going to care enough about the solution to want to invest the money, or they just don't have the problem. And spotting that early enough is a major aha moment. This will revolutionize how you invest in your marketing, where you market. I've learned some hard lessons over the years where I've spent time and money nurturing pools of prospects, being visible in those communities, having leadership positions or doing partnerships and JVs, when I realized I am attracting the wrong people. These are people that are not going to invest. These are people that don't care enough about solving this problem or don't have the problem. So understanding who your prospects really are and how to really cultivate the kind of like the awareness of the things that you're excellent at, so that by the time you get them to a sales conversation or sales step, they know, I want this or I don't want it. You will waste so little time, and you will convert more of those people, happy people, perfect fit people, into your programs. So that's the basics of how this works. Again, I will hyperlink the earlier episode so that you have that handy. But here's what I want to know from you. Do you know who your ideal clients are? And how are you attracting them? Are you nurturing them so that by the time you get on the phone, they're hungry, they're excited, and they want to work with you? Or are you having a really, really tough time getting them over that hump? If you're not enrolling at least 70% of the people that go to your sales mechanism, whether that's a call with you, a call with the salesperson, or an online step, then you're missing the nurturing steps, and or you're playing in the wrong spots and you're attracting the wrong people. So let's fine tune that. Come on into ownyourboldinnercircle.com. We can deep dive into it there. You can book a strategy session. You can work this out on your own, whatever you need. But I'd love to hear from you. Share it. Comment on today's episode. If you're in the Amplify Your Success community or Own Your Bold, tell me what next step you need to take. Let me know where you need some help. And we'll be back again next week with another great episode of Amplify Your Success podcast. This is Melanie Benson, your host. Thanks so much for listening in today. If you want to catch up on any of the show notes and circle back on any of the resources we shared in today's show, head on over to the show page at amplifyyoursuccesspodcast.com. And remember, you amplify your results faster when you're in a community of other people who are moving and shaking. Join us at amplifyyoursuccesscommunity.com. One last thing. When you've gained insight from today's episode, help us share that and inspire other people by heading over to iTunes, subscribing, and give it a review. iTunes absolutely loves seeing these reviews pop up, and it actually helps boost my show's visibility. So I would be super grateful for your reviews. And as always, I love seeing your shares of these episodes on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Come find me over there. Tag me in your shares. I'll give you some social media love right back. So see you next week for another inspiring episode of Amplify Your Success Podcast.